Hey everybody, it's Sue from Get Fit with Sue and Easy Fit in 10, your online resource to help you get fit and stay fit, whether you're working at home or staying at home. All right, here's today's Fit Break. This is in our series on hip flexor release, or basically getting the hip flexors to start moving. So we're focusing on activating the lower abdominals, activating the glutes, and getting the lower back and the hips to move a little bit more. So this is a series that is from Pilates, and we're going to use the flat band Dynaband. So you do need one of these. Ideally, if you don't have one, a yoga strap will work. All right, we're going to begin by laying down on our backs. And I'm going to start with taking that band around the ball of my right foot and tighten up on that band so there's a little bit of tension. To start off, I'm going to keep my other leg bent. So I'm lowering the working leg about halfway down at a 45-degree angle. We're going to start with bend and stretch. So I bend that leg in and then I press it out. Now as I pull my leg in, I'm going to flex my foot, and then as I extend, I'm going to try and point my toes. So not only are we getting range of motion in our knee and our hip, but also in our ankle and our foot. Very important. This series is also really helpful if you have plantar fasciitis, which is another one of our common ailments that is caused by tight connective tissue, that fascia getting tight and getting knots in it. So this series helps get circulation and movement into that connective tissue. Now, one more time. I'm going to press that leg out. Now, straight leg lifting up, and then straight leg lowers. I'm going to flex on my way up, and then point as I lower. My arms should stay still. I just remembered to do that. So I'm going to anchor my upper arm onto the mat. And we're doing each movement about 8 to 10 times. Lots of blood flow. We're going to do 2 more. I'm inhaling as I lift my leg and exhaling as I lower. So now I'm going to bring that leg up to the point where I have a little stretch in the back of my leg. Now I'm going to point and flex that foot a few times. Lots of movement in the ankle. And then I'm going to rotate, do ankle rotations. Now, you may not think that this has a lot to do with the hip flexor, but everything's connected. Switch directions. So often our ankles and our feet will get kind of reduced range of motion, and then this will affect our knees and affect our hips. So part of what we're doing here is working on our ankles a bit. Okay, I'm going to hold that leg up. Now I'm going to take the strap into my right hand and open my left arm out to the side to help me balance. And now I'm taking that leg and I'm guiding it through circles. So left leg can stay bent. That's going to be a more stable position. A little more challenging is straightening that left leg, but you don't need this to be challenging. That's not the point. The point is stabilization. Stabilization through the pelvis so that we're getting that thigh bone, your femur bone, to rotate in the hip socket by itself. And I'm going to switch directions. I am trying to let that leg go heavy into the band. So I'm doing my best to relax my quadricep, and let my right arm and the strap guide the leg through the circles. My abdominals are gently engaged, just to help me keep my pelvis still. Okay, now I'm going to take that right leg, I'm going to open it out to the side, and then pull it right back up. keeping my left hip on the mat. So I want to have that feeling of my left side weighing down into the floor, almost as if I have sandbags resting on that side. Now I'm going to take that leg out and hold. Left arm out for balance so I don't fall over. If you need a deeper stretch, gently draw that foot a little higher up towards your shoulder. Deep breaths. And let's bring that leg up. And now I'm going to switch hands and cross over. At this point, you need to straighten that opposite leg. Now my right arm's out. And then here I'm going to do nerve flossing. So I'm going to take my right toes and rotate them down towards the floor and then up towards the ceiling. Inversion, eversion. I always think of this like a windshield wiper. My foot's doing the windshield wiper. And getting 2 more in there. Okay, I'm going to bring that leg up, gently take my band off, and now, got that left knee bent again. I'm going to take that right leg, bring it up, and now take my right hand into that thigh, and I'm going to press my leg into my hand and my hand into my leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to stretch my arm overhead and extend that leg out, hold for 5 seconds. Then I'm going to bring it back in, press, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And then one more time. Pull everything and press for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And I'm just going to hold that position. 30 seconds would be great if I have the patience. I don't know that I have. And I'm going to bring that leg back in. And now I'm going to take that band and wrap it around my other foot and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, shorten up on that band so I have a little bit of tension. Right leg is bent. I'm going to lower that left leg down to about a 45-degree angle. Rest my upper arms on the floor. Keep my arms still. Inhale, bend my knee, flexing my foot. Then as I exhale, extend and point my toes. Bend and draw in. Exhale, extend and point. So I'm getting movement into my knee, movement into my hip, and movement into my ankle. But it's purposeful movement. I'm not just letting it kind of wobble around. And so that control is going to stem from my core, from my center. And so I want to really focus on those deep abdominal stabilizers working. And the way to activate them is through drawing the abs in. So instead of letting my belly push out, I want to think of my belly button fastening in towards my spine. One more time. Now I'm going to flex my foot, straight leg up, and then point as I lower and stretch away. And I can notice a very large difference between my 2 ankles. My left foot seems to have a harder time moving. So let's keep going, a few more. And see if you can get the muscles of the back of your leg to engage, to lower down. So you're pressing into the band from your glute and your hamstring. And I'll lift that leg up. Now just point and flex the foot a few times. ankle rotations. Rotate around. And we'll switch directions. Woo. Okay, now I'm going to take the band into my left hand, open my right arm out for balance, and guide my leg through circles. And I can keep my right leg bent. If this feels like I'm very stable and I want to challenge my stabilization a little more, I can then straighten that right leg. But if I notice that my hips are really wobbling back and forth, up and down, rocking a lot, then I really should go back to that bent knee, because the point is to teach our bodies how to stabilize. And we're going to switch directions. So there's a big difference between being inflexible and stabilizing. So if we are very, very tight in certain joints, and we will typically be tight in some joints and not others. For instance, if we're tight in our hip flexors, when we try and do this circle, what's going to happen is that we're just going to rock the pelvis. So we make those circles smaller so the pelvis stays still, and then over time our circles will open up and get a little bit bigger. All right, arm out for balance. We're going to open that left leg out to the side and then bring it back up. And let's do that about 5 times, focusing on that right side, anchoring into the floor. It stays in place. So the back of the shoulder, back of the hip, back of the rib cage stays on the floor. Now we're going to open that leg and hold and gently bring that left foot up. And a couple nice deep breaths in and out. And let's bring that leg up, and we're going to switch hands, take the straps into the right hand. Left arm opens out to the side, cross that leg over, and now our nerve flossing, inversion and eversion. So I take my toes, and I rotate them down towards the floor and then back up to the ceiling. My ankle isn't moving that much. The movement is at the ankle, but that portion of my leg and my lower leg and my knee are staying still. So that's stabilized so that the ankle is doing the movement by itself. One more time. And we're going to lift that leg up. Oh, take our strap off and then do that final hip flexor activation release. So take your left hand into your left thigh and press into each other for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend your leg, reach your arm overhead. Hold that position for about 5 seconds. And then we're going to do that again. Bring it in and press. 3, 2, 1, and release. And then we're going to press one last time. And release. And let's go ahead and sit on up. And we're going to get one last little stretch. Come into our Pilates mermaid stretch. So I'm going to fold that right leg out to the side. My left leg is out in front. Lifting up tall, and then on that exhale, I'm going to slide my hands forward, chest towards the ground, and now stretching my left inner thigh. Couple deep breaths. And we really want to try and hold each stretch for about 30 seconds. 30 seconds at minimum. Now we're going to turn our chest towards the leg. Fold a little more out to the side. Turn the chest a little bit and try and get into the stretch for the glute. And we'll rise back up and we'll flip our legs around to the other side. Same idea, lifting up tall, and then chest is going to fold forward. Hopefully getting a stretch through that right inner thigh. And just go as far forward as you need to, depending on your body. And then we're going to come on up. We're going to turn towards that leg a little bit more, trim the chest a little bit so we get a little more into the glute. And we rise on up. All right, that's your band series to help release those hip flexors. It would be great if you could do that a few times a week. Repetition, frequency, and consistency is where you're gonna make a difference. Do it as often as you can. All right, hope you enjoyed our Fit Break, and I'll see you next time.